The Aum Shinrikyo incident, a record of post-war Japan's largest cult crime. The birth and radicalization of a meditation group. In 1984, a small yoga class named Aum Shinsen no Kai was established in Shibuya Ward, Tokyo. This was the beginning of Aum Shinrikyo, the cult that would later shake Japanese society to its core. The founder, Shoko Asahara, real name Chizuo Matsumoto, had a background in joining new religious movements. He blended those teachings with unique ascetic practices and apocalyptic ideologies to form his own doctrine. In its early days, Aum Shinrikyo rapidly grew its membership, primarily attracting young elites and university students seeking spiritual fulfillment amidst disillusionment with existing society and material civilization. The organization offered them answers they sought, leading to a swift expansion. In 1987, it was certified as a religious corporation and renamed Aum Shinrikyo. However, around this time, the group's teachings began to shift towards radical apocalypticism. Asahara preached that a final war, known as Armageddon, was imminent, solidifying an exclusive ideology that only select followers would be saved. In 1989, the cult committed its first systematic crime, the disappearance of the family of lawyer Tsutsumi Sakamoto, who had taken a critical stance against the group. This incident marked a decisive turning point, where the cult's doctrine began to deviate towards the destruction of real-world order and law. Covert militarization and the rise of suspicion. Following the Sakamoto incident, Aum Shinrikyo sought seclusion, building extensive facilities on the slopes of Mount Fuji in Kamikushiki village, Yamanashi Prefecture, where members began communal living, satians. Within the cult, a pyramidal hierarchical structure was established with Shoko Asahara as the absolute leader. Followers were subjected to extreme asceticism and devotion. Their lives were completely isolated from the outside world, dominated by their own rules, Aum's law, that superseded common sense and legal norms. During this period, the cult was secretly pursuing militarization. Their goal was to develop weapons to fight the final war predicted in their doctrine. Cult members who were engineers and scientists dedicated themselves to research into chemical weapons, firearms, and military technology. On June 27, 1994, a nerve agent known as Sarin was used in Matsumoto City, Nagano Prefecture, targeting a judge involved in a land dispute with the cult. This was an unprecedented act of indiscriminate chemical terrorism that claimed the lives of 8 citizens and injured many more. Initially, police viewed the incident as a dispute among local residents, but physical evidence left at the scene and a surge of suspicious reports concerning the cult shifted the focus of the investigation toward Aum Shinrikyo, the subway sarin attack and social collapse. On March 20, 1995, one of the most shocking events in the history of Japanese crime and post-war history occurred. Around 8 a.m., during the crowded rush-hour commute, sarin was dispersed in the Tokyo subway system. This was a meticulously planned terrorist act targeting major stations serving the Kasumigaseki area, where central government ministries are concentrated. The attack resulted in catastrophic casualties. 13 people were killed, and over 6,300 were seriously or lightly injured. The use of a chemical weapon in the heart of Tokyo fundamentally shattered Japan's myth of safety. Immediately after the incident, the police launched an intensive investigation and prepared for a large-scale raid on Aum Shinrikyo. 2 days later, on March 22nd, police proceeded with a massive search of the cult's facilities in Kamikushiki village, Yamanashi Prefecture. The search uncovered chemical substances believed to have been used in the manufacture of sarin, numerous firearms, and evidence of inhumane brainwashing conducted on members. This exposure revealed that Aum Shinrikyo was not merely a religious group, but an armed cult aiming for subversion of the state and indiscriminate terrorism. Investigation and organizational collapse. The extensive investigation led to the successive arrests of the cult's key executives, culminating in the apprehension of founder Shoko Asahara on May 16. Through the arrests and investigation, the full scope of Aum Shinrikyo's involvement in criminal activities became clear. These included attacks using VX nerve agent, the illegal manufacturing of automatic rifles, and numerous murders of both followers and outsiders. Under Asahara's apocalyptic ideology and absolute instruction, the top executives rationalized their cruel criminal acts through their unique interpretation of the doctrine, calling murder poa. For them, the guru's command superseded law and morality. These crimes led to an unprecedented scale of judicial conflict, involving the police, prosecution, and courts. The trials were protracted, requiring extensive time to unravel complex doctrines, ideologies, and scientific evidence. Following the subway attack, Aum Shinrikyo rapidly lost power and fractured. Some remnants reorganized into successor groups such as Aleph and Hikari no Wa, but they remain under surveillance by the Public Security Intelligence Agency today. Judicial condemnation and historical lessons. The trials related to the Aum Shinrikyo incidents spanned nearly 20 years. Throughout this process, death sentences were successively finalized for Shoko Asahara and key former executives. The central point of contention in the trials was Shoko Asahara's criminal responsibility. While the defense argued for diminished capacity, the court fully recognized his responsibility, condemning him as the mastermind of the crimes. On July 6, 2018, the death penalty was carried out for Asahara and 12 former cult executives. This signified the judicial conclusion of the Aum incidents. However, the incidents extend beyond judicial condemnation. The Aum Shinrikyo incident left behind several heavy lessons for post-war Japanese society. 1. The danger of cults. It demonstrated how a closed group, dedicated to the absolute worship of a leader and the rejection of external values, could rapidly and widely militarize and threaten public order. 2. Social vulnerability. It presented the difficult challenge of balancing freedom of thought with public safety in a free democratic society. 3. The threat of terrorism. It made real the new form of terrorist threat where chemical weapons are used not by states, but by non-state actors. Memory that must not fade. Even decades after the events, the Aum Shinrikyo incident must continue to be recounted as a lesson from Japanese history and as a memorial to the victims. By tracing the records of this incident, we offer remembrance to the irreplaceable lives that were lost, and we strive to understand the darkness within society and the human psyche. Confronting this history with a critical spirit and a sense of empathy is the very cornerstone for building a safer and happier society.